Progressive candidates like Elizabeth Warren, oh wait, sorry, that's an angry pigeon. Candidates like Elizabeth Warren never want to answer the question, will taxes go up on the middle class under your plan? Because taxes will go up on the middle class under their plan, and they just don't want to admit that truth.
There hasn't been Medicare for all before. You keep being asked in the debates, how are you going to pay for it? Are you going to raise the middle class taxes?
Right.
How are you going to pay for it? Are you going to raise the middle class taxes?
So here's how we're going to do this. Costs are going to go up for the wealthiest Americans, for big corporations.
Taxes, what do you mean by cost?
Yeah. Okay. And hard-working middle-class families are going to see their costs go down.
But will their taxes go up?
Well, but here's the thing.
Keep watching and see how Stephen Colbert holds her to that and says, answer the question. We've heard the talking point. Just answer the question.
But will their taxes go up?
Well, but here's the thing.
Here's the thing. I've listened to these answers a few times before, and I just want to make a parallel suggestion for you about how you might defend the taxes that perhaps you're not mentioning in your sentence. Isn't Medicare for all like public school?
So, actually,
there might be taxes for it, but you certainly save a lot of money on sending your kids to school. And do you want to live in a world where kids aren't educated?
You can then see he also tries to explain to her, listen, the taxes are going to go up, but here's what you might want to say. It's a necessary thing like education. You might want it. You might save money in other places.
Do you want to live in a world where your fellow citizens are dying, even if it costs a little bit of money?
So I accept your point, and I believe in your point. Healthcare is a basic human right. We fight for basic human rights, and that's Medicare for all.
All we really ask for is just stop lying about it and dodging the question. Colbert's really trying to show her it's like, it is going to go up. I know you and Bernie Sanders don't want to say that. A similar thing happened to Jake Tapper. He had to ask him 3 times, and Bernie finally said, yes, they will, but you'll save in other places. Just say that. Just say the truth. Don't always lie and dodge. Colbert's like, listen, here's how you would say it without lying and still try to sell people on it. It's like, maybe he should run for president instead of Elizabeth Warren then. And what's very frustrating about this debate is how they never tell the full story. Under Bernie and Elizabeth universal health care, a lot of people would lose their private insurance.
Let's start the debate with the #1 issue for Democratic voters, health care. And Senator Sanders, let's start with you. You support Medicare for all, which would eventually take private health insurance away from more than 150 million Americans in exchange for government-sponsored health care for everyone.
But we don't have to go around and be the party of subtraction and telling half the country who has private health insurance that their health insurance is illegal. My dad, the union electrician, loved the health care he got from the IBEW. He would never want someone to take that away. But why do we got to be the party of taking something away from people?
No one is the party.
That's what they're running on. They're running on telling half the country that your health insurance is illegal. It says it right in the bill.
All right, thank you.
We don't have to do that. We can give everyone health care and allow people to have choice. That's the American way.
They never want to admit that. Also, when they passed Obamacare to give certain people coverage, they put on an individual mandate, which Trump actually stripped, which I personally think is a great thing. The individual mandate said you have to buy health insurance. If you want to opt out, you can't opt out. It's a fee or we're going to charge you a penalty. For me personally, I know Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren don't seem to care. It cost me a lot of money, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 that I didn't want to pay for insurance that I couldn't use. This year, because of Trump, I was able to opt out of healthcare. I had a very freak injury with my foot and I had thousands of dollars in hospital fees. The crazy thing is, if I still had Obamacare, not only would I still have to pay those thousands of dollars in hospital fees, pretty much the same exact amount, but I would also get charged $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a year for having health insurance, so it wouldn't work for me. A lot of people want to keep their private insurance. A lot of people don't want to have to pay $5,000 or $6,000 a year in taxes. Over the span of 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they always act like they're saving us so much money, but a lot of families between all their taxes will pay literally $1 million in taxes just to save a couple $100,000 one year, and they act like they helped you. That's why a lot of libertarians say taxation is theft. It's like they want to take your money. Bernie and Elizabeth want to take more money and then say, no, we're going to take your money. We're going to make it impossible for you to keep your money. And then we're going to just scream at you and tell you what a horrible person you are if you want to keep your own money and decide whether or not you actually want a plan. That's the sneaky part about a lot of left-wing programs nowadays. And Trump got rid of the individual mandate, which now makes people free to opt out and not get a penalty by the government. It's actually awesome, but they'll never tell you that Just like they'll never answer the question, are your middle class taxes going to be raised? Everybody has their own story. Some people in Canada love the health insurance. Some people don't like it. There's very long wait times, a lot of people say. There's different stories. I understand it works for some people and it doesn't work for different people. And same with $15 minimum wage or high taxes on corporations and businesses. They don't tell you that also small businesses that can only hire 1 or 2 employees now always get screwed. In states like California, where you have very high taxes on businesses, you also have the highest poverty. It goes hand in hand. They act like they're helping you, but they don't just screw over the top. They also screw over small businesses, and they also a lot of times, or almost every time, raise taxes on the middle class. They just don't actually usually admit it. They just loop to another talking point. And there's millions of people like me that own small businesses that don't have insurance or want to keep their private insurance, that a lot of left-wing politicians say, oh no, we're helping you, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that. But when we look at our bank account, it costs $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $20, $30, $40,000 a year that we don't want to pay for stuff that we can't even use. And then when we go to use it, it doesn't even really save us money. Some people want the freedom to invest their own money, to keep their own money, to pick their doctor. So all I'm asking from Elizabeth Warren and the Bernie Sanders crowd is not to stop fighting for healthcare for all. Just stop lying about it and stop covering up the fact that it will raise taxes. In many cases, it will take away private insurance from millions of Americans, and it will cost a lot of average Americans, working Americans, and middle-class Americans more money than it's going to save them. For some families that have hundreds of thousands of dollars of hospital bills, yeah, I'm sure universal health care will work for a few years. But for others that aren't having dramatic million-dollar surgeries, it may end up costing hundreds of thousands of dollars to certain families over the course of a lifetime. And the least you could do is admit that, instead of always screaming at everybody and just saying, if you don't want to give up your money, if you don't want to give up your freedom, if you don't want to give up your rights, you're a racist, sexist, xenophobic Nazi who hates all the people. That's not true. Just have a real conversation. That's all I ask. God bless. Let me know your healthcare story in the comments so people can see both sides of the debate, and have a good day.